So good morning. I think we'll get going. First of all, big thanks to everybody for logging onto this webinar. And how many how many of you have actually been to a webinar session? If you can raise your hands, you know how to do that. You'll see the icons on the right hand side. So if you can just raise your hand and let me know. Wow, wow! A lot of you know how to use the webinar and the functions of the icons in the webinar. So that's great because we have a panel on the right hand side. That icon panel will allow you to ask questions as we proceed. And I'm going to put up on the chat as well some responses. And we're going to make it as interactive as possible. We're also going to video record this webinar so that we can send it to you in case you need a copy of this recording. We will send it to you as well. We've got a poll and a survey that we're going to do as part of this webinar to check on your underpinning knowledge after having attended this webinar. So thank you all for logging in, right? And we'll start off with a question. That question is, if you had 10,000 green peas with you, what did you do with them? You can type me the answers in the question column. You can give me the response. What did you do? My question is coming up on the screen. If you had 10,000 frozen green peas, what would you do? What did you do to these 10,000 frozen green peas? So I've seen a good answer from Muhammad Ismail. He says, no, Harsha's given the answer, cook and eat. Make a garland, Sanjukta, wow. Navintar Nair says, make a dish out of it. Amazing. Give me some more ideas. What do you think we can do? Make a packet and sell them off. Perfect opportunities. I'll unfreeze them. Call it excellent. We'll keep them frozen and use them when required. Wow. Come on, give me some more ideas. What will you do if you had 1,000 green peas? Come on, let the answers come. That's great. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 responses. I have a festival of green peas. Wow. People running out of ideas this morning? Oh, I have a competition of the best dish. Sanjukta seems to be getting the maximum answers this morning. Wow. Nair as well. Throw at people since we are in lockdown. Wow. Share with poor people, not just family members. Wow. WP rocks. That's amazing. Share it with others. Why do you need 10,000? Wow. Saurabh saying sell them. Perfect marketing man. So think out of the box. As you can see now, I just gave you a stupid proposition. That is having 10,000 green peas this morning. And now we get a great one. Seed them and grow more. Why don't you plant one of them? And that'll feed the future generation. Wow. So moment we start thinking, what happens is we ideate. We come up with more ideas. We come up with better ways to look at something. And that's exactly what we're going to do. All right. All this is going to be saved. It's going to come to you. And that's amazing what you've done this morning. Is looked at how many ways can we use 10,000 green peas? So you could just spend time counting them over and over again to make sure they're 10,000. Why? Because in this lockdown, you have nothing else to do. So that'll keep you busy. That'll keep your mind off stress as well. So welcome to this session. And this session is Teach Yourself How to Think. Heard of Edward de Bono? How many of you know of Edward de Bono? How many of you heard or read about Edward de Bono? On the question box, you could put the response, and I would know what you know about Edward de Bono. So I haven't seen any answers as yet, but Edward, 6 thinking hats. Somebody said 6 thinking hats. That's correct. and experience session of 6 hacks as well. So he's the world's authority on creativity. He's the inventor of lateral thinking. Samarpan, absolutely correct. He invented this concept way back in 1965, and it got entry into the classic Oxford Dictionary uh, in 1969. So Edward de Bono, amazing gentleman, invented of different tools, and we're going to sample some of the tools. Daniel says, don't sweat the small stuff. I don't know what it means, but I'm getting the clue. We'll get into something bigger in our webinar. So the agenda is thinking creativity is a skill. Why we need to be using thinking as a skill, and why we need creativity and innovation, more so in difficult times like today. What are the different tools available? And how can you teach yourself how to think? That's what we're going to cover in today's agenda of this webinar that we have. So let's move on. And what are we going to be working on? We're going to work on why is thinking a skill? Let's address that issue. Why important skill? Why is it that you and I need to think differently? Why is it that thinking is critical? If we don't think, what do you think is going to happen? I like some answers from you. In the question box, you can feed in some answers to make it interactive. Why do you think we need thinking? Why do you need thinking? Why thinking? We are breathing, isn't it so? So why thinking? Why do we need to think? Wow, great ideas are coming. Why we need to think? We all need to be good creative thinkers. We need to think. So here is an opportunity for you to think. You're all right. Wonderful answers by all of you. I see great responses because we need to solve problems not experienced before, not just a traditional problem. We need to solve things that have never been witnessed by us before. So it acts as a connect to past learning. You're absolutely right because we got some experiential learning. We need to find solutions. We need to use repetition, one of the great contributions of Edward de Bono. We need to add more value in whatever we're doing. So we need to start thinking differently. So here is a challenge for all of you this morning. The challenge is I've got a sum of digits that I need you to total up and use your mental math. 1 plus the sum of that, plus 2, the sum of that, plus 3, all the way up to 10. What's the answer? So simple challenge for you this morning. And the challenge is as follows. The challenge is you got 1 up to 10. And that's what the total that you need to do. 1 plus 2, sum of that plus 3, sum of that plus 4, sum of that plus 5, all the way up to 10. What's the answer? Fastest finger first to give me the answer. Devanjan, good morning. Give us the answer. 1 all the way up to 10. What's the answer? I haven't seen any answers yet. Looks like people are on the calculator. So a lot of people are superb in mental math. They've got 55 as the answer. That is correct. But let's make life a little bit more challenging, as life is challenging at the moment for you, me, and the whole world. So I like you to do the total of the digits, 1 all the way up to 100. So 1 plus 2, the sum of that plus 3, the sum of that plus 4, all the way up to 100. Let's get the answers now. Oh, it's taking long, isn't it so? Because this isn't easy. It's a complex situation. Will need us to think differently. So people using traditional way to come up with the total, and that's why it's taking you longer. So how would we do it? We would do it maybe with a calculator. We would do it with a formula. Do we have formulas? Of course, we have lots of formulas for challenges like this. So let's have a look at one of the formulas. One of the formulas out of the many formulas out there is n plus n square, and the sum of that we divide it by 2. So n means the total number of digits in a series. In this case, we've got 100. The square of 100 divided by 2. Next step will be 100 plus 10,000 divided by 2. Last step would be 10,100 divided by 2. So correct answer is 5050. We saw it's difficult for a lot of people to think this way because these formulas we learned in school. These formulas are not second nature to us. These formulas, we memorize these formulas and that's it. Mangala, good effort, but 55 is the correct answer for the first exercise. And the second exercise, the correct answer is 5050. Why is that? Because mathematically, this is how you can prove it with a formula. 5050 is the correct answer. But not using thinking. Thinking does not believe in formulas alone. Formulas are good, but formulas are not enough. We need to have an ability how to think differently and to challenge certain status quo, challenge certain perceptions we have in our brain. So how? How can we do that? One such way invented by Edward de Bono, one such tool or method invented by Edward de Bono is called reversal provocation. So what's a reversal provocation? It's reversal PO. PO is an abbreviation, it's an acronym, it's a mnemonic for you to understand and remember what this tool is all about. It's provocative operation. And the best one is co-reversal. Co-reversal means you think in opposites. So example, 4 digits in reverse order. Why digits in reverse order? Because that is going to help us to solve complex problems. So how do I solve this problem now? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 100. How am I going to solve it? Reverse order. How I'm going to solve it reverse order? I'm going to go, this is ascending order. I'm going to go now descending order. What is descending order? I'm going to start with 100, 99, 98, 97. And when I come up to 100, it's going to be digit number 1. Wow. By doing this, I can observe a phenomenon and get some movement out of this provocation. I can do some top of the head thinking and come up with a solution. How? I total 1 and 100. It gives me 101. I total the 2 columns, 2 and a 99, 101. 3 and a 98, 101. 4 and a 97, 101. All the way up to 100, 101. Amazing phenomena discovered here. What is that? For all the digits in the reverse order, if you total them up, the 2 columns, the sum will always be 101. Now I can still use old-fashioned way. What is that? I can say, how do I come up with the answer to this challenge? 101 into 100. But that will make it 10,100. And duplicate the total because the digits are already added twice. So I'll have to divide it by 2, which is going to make it too complex. Instead, simplicity. 101 into 50, answer will still be 5050. So this is the concept of Edward de Bono. He says, think differently. If you think differently, then solutions to complex problems are much easier. For example, we are now concerned about this virus thing. So we have a case study. Case studies of Dr. Bobby Marshall. Bobby Marshall found that peptic ulcer is actually not a disease. And for hundreds of years, including in Greek mythology, there was surgery performed for peptic ulcer. But Bobby Marshall said peptic ulcer is not a disease. It is a bacterial infection. And to solve a bacterial infection, we need to think differently. We can't think in the routine way that we are solving peptic ulcer issues. The only solution recommended by physicians and surgeons is surgery for peptic ulcer. But what did Dr. Bobby Marshall do? Bobby Marshall said an antiviral dosage, an antibiotic dosage for 5 days could nullify the parasites that are there in the stomach. No need of surgery at all. This breakthrough thinking by Bobby Marshall got him Nobel Prize for Medicine. Wish somebody in medicine is thinking this way. What is it we can do differently to solve this virus from spreading? How can we consider it not a virus, something else? The solution then would be completely different. So, Edward de Bono, amazing research, amazing contributions by this man, and his research came to the conclusion that we all need to think in a better way. And to think in a better way, the foundation for good thinking is challenging our perceptions. So here is an exercise for all of you. Up on the screen, you can see 5 alphabets, TEMPH. Your task is in the next minute to write out in the answer, i.e. in your question column, that's where you'll fit in the answer. Which alphabet is the odd one out? Which alphabet is kind of peculiar? Which alphabet is not fitting in to the schematic approach of those alphabets? Which alphabets are peculiar? Which alphabets are weird? Here comes on the screen the 5 alphabets that we have for you, TMPH. And your time starts now. You got a minute. Saima has given the first answer. Oh, there are other people who given the similar answers. Wow, excellent. The answers coming up on the screen are H. Since, oh wow, Saima has given the answers. Shafir, excellent. H. Mr. Nair M. E is a vowel. Daniel says he's a vowel. Sajid Kumar says he's a vowel. P says, Hiral says P because it's got a curvature. Harsha says E, it's a vowel. Saurabh says P. Saima says M and P. H because it doesn't fit in as a temporary word. TMP is abbreviation for temporary. Wow. The others have right angles where P doesn't have any angle. P is a curvature. Wow. P has a hole. Others don't have a hole. Or P has a curve. Others don't have a curve. Wow, amazing, all of you, amazing. You can see that. Don't look at something. Okay, so somebody's saying very interesting answers, but that's not enough. They are all good answers, but they're not enough. We need more answers from all of you. We need more better answers from all of you. How? Let's see how. Let's challenge our perception. So I would say T is odd one out. Why is T odd one out? Because it's got 2 straight lines. 2 straight lines. T is also odd one out because it's the first alphabet in the series of 5 alphabets. So in the series of 5 alphabets, it's the first alphabet. That's why T is odd. Can we get more responses now from you? I've given you 2 wonderful clues. T because it's got 2 lines, one horizontal, one vertical. T is odd because it's the first alphabet. Come on, you get a minute more. Let's see what more answers can you think of. I need more answers from you. Wow. Same as saying E because it's got 4 lines. Awesome. 1 vertical and 3 horizontal. Excellent question, Daniel. First alphabet in the series of those 5 alphabets, Daniel. That's what I'm implying. Because you got 5, T-E-M-P-H. So just to build on and to give you the answer, M is odd because M is in the middle. So got it, Daniel? So now we've seen that P is a curvature, but you can add more. So they're all odd. That's correct. But why? That's a rationale I want you to think. Why is that? Because that builds your critical thinking. That helps you to see there could be more answers than one. And a good critical thinker, a good thinker, will always challenge his perception, her perception, and other people's perception. Will not go by just one way of looking at something. They're all special in their own way, correct? That's what we wanted to explore. I want more answers. So as people are struggling, here are more answers for everybody. E is odd because it's not just a vowel, it's not just 4 lines, it's not just 3 horizontal, 1 vertical line. E is odd because it's a second in the order of the 5 alphabets. M is odd because M has a V in the M. M has got a V that's built inside the M. So as a good thinker, challenge status quo. Challenge what you see. If you don't challenge what you see, what's going to happen? You would see a limited perception. And that limited perception will not allow us to think out of the box. So M has got a V inside. Here's my perfect M with my perfect V inside. So can you think this way? I need more answers from you. I'm giving you more clues as we are moving along. We need perceptions. Lovely. M can be seen as a W as well. So now Daniel says, wow, they're all unique. Samarpan says H is odd because we have to lift up our pen to write. Wow. Wow, Sanjukta's seen something that none of us have seen. Sanjukta and Devanjan are seeing things differently. They're inverting. They're looking at symmetry, and Daniel's cracked a big one. P does not have mirror symmetry, but P can be inverted as a B or a D or a Q. P has many possibilities. So amazing, everybody, amazing. So you can see now in a few minutes, you've mastered what is it? That thinking is a skill, and the core part of the skill is challenging our perception. We need to challenge our perception. We need to challenge what we see. If we don't challenge what we see, we will not have new thinking. And we need new thinking, more new thinking, going to help us to think differently and come up with new ideas. So that's what we want. We want new ideas. We don't want old ways of thinking. So how can we build the skill? How can we make it into a habit? How can you and I make this into a habit? How can we make this into a way of life? How can we make sure thinking becomes a way of life? Thinking becomes a nature to us. Thinking becomes something that is secondary to us. So let's try. Let's try. We're going to work on more challenges for you. So let's work on one more challenge for you. This challenge for you is, I'm going to give you an exercise to do, and you're going to try it. What is that? This exercise is going to say, let us draw 9 dots. So I know you're on your computer and your phone, but it's a simple traditional exercise, a challenging perception. And even if you've done it before, you will find you will struggle to do it. So what's this exercise? This exercise says, we have to challenge the status quo. We have to challenge certain perceptions. You got 4 lines that are available with you. Without lifting your pen or pencil, connect these 4 lines. So I'm going to see your responses. Let me see what your responses show up in your questions. I'm looking at responses. Oh, you can't see the 4 lines. Yes. Okay, so here using 4 lines. That's the question. So draw the lines out of the dots. Navintar, excellent. Navintar's given the wonderful clue to everybody. Navintar says, Navinder says we need to draw the lines by actually drawing the lines from outside the box. Ravinder's got it. So how do we draw the lines from outside the box? Here is how we do it from outside the box. Let me just get the screen available for you. Yeah, got it. Got it. So how do we draw it from outside the box? Here is the clue for you, and here is the answer for you. So the first line, we take it from outside the box. Second line from outside the box. Third line from outside the box. Fourth line from outside the box. So what's happened? You challenge the status quo. You challenged a certain way of thinking. You challenge a certain perception. And that perception is that this is the box. This is not a box. The more we think differently, the better solution we can get. So a classic simple example with a simple solution to you is if somebody asks you, here are 9 dots. And can you use one line to connect the 9 dots? How do I challenge that perception? I challenge that perception by simply saying, here is the answer. Why is that? Because you're challenging current ways of seeing things. You are challenging current ways of doing things. And that's what we want. We want you to think outside the box. We want you to think differently. So how do we do that? How can we make it into second nature? How can we do this on a regular basis? How can we use this as a tool and do it on a day-to-day basis, this type of thinking? That's what we are learning. So this is what Edward de Bono says. He says creativity and innovation will be the engines that will give us everlasting success in this changing world. So why do we need creativity? These are reasons we need creativity. Rapid changes happening, right sizing happening in organization, VUCA. We know we are all in the VUCA world at the moment. Team building is a challenge, intense competition. We know businesses struggling, optimum use of resources, solving problems that face the world. We need to do value addition. We need to make things simple. So creativity is a skill that can be developed. It's a skill that you and I can develop. So how do we develop this skill? Let's go straight away to the method that we wanted to master in the next 30 minutes, and then we'll have question answers. So one of the methods of Edward de Bono, he invented many tools. Edward de Bono is an inventor of tools, and a lot of people said they know about him in the beginning of the webinar. So he's the inventor of lateral thinking, he's the inventor of 6 thinking hats, he's the inventor of the COT tools for school children. And one such method he invented, which is called teach yourself how to think. And that's the subject of today's webinar. How do you teach yourself how to think? You learn a method called tu lo po so go. You have to chant it. Like any other chanting that you do, you have to chant tu lo po so go, tu lo po so go, tu lo po so go. So look at me, I'm chanting now. Why? Because I want to internalize this process tu lo po so go. So we're going to do each of the steps. We're going to master each of the steps. And we look at a current challenge that the world is facing. And supposing you are WHO, how would you handle this crisis that the world is facing? We will apply tu lo po so go. and send the output of this webinar even to WHO. Nothing stops us from doing that. You'll be giving me the output as you learn each of these 5 steps of this tool. So what's the first step? So one more time, chanting. What is the chanting? Tu lo po so go. Tu lo po so go. Tu lo. Everybody, I can't hear you, but make sure you're chanting wherever you are. Tu lo po so go. It should be second nature. Tu lo po so go. Khalid saying, I am chanting. Khalid, you're a star. Okay, people can confirm. Raise your hand and tell me. Raise your hand and tell me you're chanting. Tu lo po so go. Because that's got to be part of your DNA. Wow. Shafir also saying from Bangladesh, I'm also chanting. Saima also saying I'm chanting. Tu lo po so go. Any problem? We have to not panic. Do tu lo po so go. Tu lo po so go. Wow. Kiran saying I'm doing the same thing. Wow. So many of you are doing that. Excellent. Thank you so much. Let's see what is two. What is two? How do we use two? What is two and how can we use two? How can this be the first tool for you and me to really look at? So the first tool, as we are saying, is two. Two means have a clear focus in your life. What is it you want to be thinking about? So focus will mean have a clear target. So two means, okay, two means have a clear goal. Two means make sure your target is very clear. What is it we want to be shooting? What is it that we want to address? So let's give ourselves a goal for the next 15-20 minutes to do this activity. And the goal for you is, the focus for you is, and it's always good to use what we call as an invitational stem. How to write a problem. How do we write a problem? Many ways to write a problem. Best way to write a problem or to use an invitational language stem is H2. So H2 stands for how to. So how to handle COVID-19 global crisis. You are thought leader. You are World Health Organization Director General. You are now going to sit next 20 minutes, use tu lo po so go, and if you are WHO, how would you handle COVID-19 crisis? That's our topic for this session. So he's given us an icon. He's given us a symbol for each of these steps for you to remember. So for the two step, which is the first step, how to be a good thinker, meaning have a clear objective in your mind, have a clear target in your mind. He's given us a picture, an arrow. Why arrow? Because target. We need, in Arabic, hadaf for our dimag. We need one target for our brain. If that target is clear in our brain, then the rest of the stuff is going to be very easy. So that's two. And what's the icon? Arrow. And that comes horizontally, goes down, being very clear. What is it we are going to be thinking about? So you and I are very clear now. Tu lo po so go. Two is how to handle COVID-19 crisis as WHO. Lo. Lo comes from look. Look where? Don't look anywhere. Look in a systematic way. So actually, Edward de Bono invented that as a thinking tool. He said all of us need directed attention. We must direct our attention in a systematic way. And he invented a tool, north, south, east, west. So from there he got this symbol, look everywhere. Don't look only inwards into one country. If I am WHO, I will look north, I will look south, I will look east, I will look west. Why? Because I'm WHO. But I will not look everywhere. I will look only north and see what challenges in the northern hemisphere of this world. What are challenges in the southern hemisphere of this world? What challenges have they encountered in the eastern hemisphere of this world? What challenges are they encountering in the western part of the world? So rather than have cluttered thinking and mix all your thinking, look in a systematic way. So look for what? Look for facts, look for data, look for information. Why? If WHO look for information, let's say, how did South Korea manage this crisis? What went wrong in China for the numbers to have gone high? What challenges do they face in China? Look east. What challenges do they face in Japan? What are learning lessons from Japan? What challenges we have from the West? What are failures in the UK? What are failures in the UK? Let's look north. What has happened in Iran? What has happened in other northern hemisphere countries? What's happening in South? What's happened in India? What's happening in Sri Lanka? What's happened in Australia and New Zealand? So think global, but not mismatch. They need to think in a systematic way. So they're giving us a lot of data, but it's all cluttered. We need directed attention. Wonderful skill to have as a good thinker. So directed thinking will give directed attention. And that's why he invented tools called direct attention thinking tools. So that we do one thing at a time. We don't clutter our thinking. Any questions on low? Correct. Mr. Datta says we need data. We need patterns. Excellent. Samarpan. We need facts on the focus. We need more data. Daniel says, okay, it is required. Mr. Dhaka saying this is very important, this is required. So question is, that's a question. Devanjan, I repeated the question for you. Everybody clear? Okay, let's go. Can you take a minute to write down what more data you need? If you are WHO, take minute and a half. What data you need? Now use this compass model, magnetic compass model, NSEW. What more data we need from northern hemisphere countries? What more data you need? You are WHO. What more data you need from Korea? What more data you need to stop this pandemic from increasing? We want to nip this now. We can't nip it in the bud. It's already escalated. But what are some corrective measures? Because WHO under attack. WHO has failed in this pandemic. So they seriously want to think and they need your help. What data? I can't see any responses coming. I can't see people's responses. People typing. Am I getting your answers? Excellent. We're getting a lot of good answers now. We need data on fever, symptoms, percentage of people getting cured, duration of getting cured. Very good. That data is not there. Average time taken in hospitalization. We don't have that data. Excellent. Percentage of people getting cured. Excellent. Come on, keep giving me more data. You're now like WHO. Duration of the fever, duration of the symptoms. We need data. What are the data we need? Let's go to the next step. So we got some good data from some of you. Now we said too low, post, so go. Do you remember the process? Are you chanting too low, post, so go? Too low, post, so go. Too low, post, so go. What's two? We put in a challenge. What's low? We said look. Where to look? Not aimlessly. Look in a systematic way. Look north, look south, look east, look west, look everywhere. So if everywhere you see in a systematic way, you'll get a lot of data. And with that data, you can come up now with the next step. What are the next step? Is the most wonderful step. It's called PO. PO, as you know, is provocative operation. PO also stands for possibilities. So PO is possibilities. PO stands for possible solutions. What is possible? What is possible? So possible means it's not a ready-made idea, but is something worth exploring. We don't know whether somebody's used it or not, but it's something worthwhile exploring. So, at this current scenario, what are some possibilities? So, we know some countries locked down as a possibility. Example, we've seen lockdown in Dubai, partial. We've seen lockdown in Italy. We've seen lockdown in India. We've seen lockdown in some other countries. So that's possibility. We've seen partial lockdown in Muscat in Oman, in Saudi Arabia, possibility. What else possibility? Quarantine, possibility. Closing airports, possibility. These are actions already done. Can you think of some more ideas and type in your responses in the questions column? What do you think? If you're WHO, what other possibilities do you have to control this pandemic? What did you do to control this pandemic? What did you do to reduce this from becoming a more of a bigger problem? What did you do? Come on, I need more answers. No answers. Okay, so Po is possibilities. What other solutions can we think of? These solutions need not be tried and tested. These could be possibilities. Possibilities mean something not tried before. Now we go to the second last step of our thinking. How to be a good thinker. Too low, po, so go. Too low, po, so go. Too low, po, so go. So stands for solution. So as you can see, the visual is of a funnel. Well, funnel means you take all the ideas and now you select the best possible ideas. So if you're WHO, you will say, yeah, these are following initiatives done by different countries. What works best as a global strategy? Let us select. So stands for solutions. So comes from solution. It's the first two letters of the word solution. First two alphabets of the word solution. So as you can see, a lot of ideas could have possibly come to the WHO by benchmarking north, south, east, west. But not all the ideas could come as a strategy. As a strategy could be a selected few. These selected few will be the solutions. That is the second last step of this particular tool. The last step is go. Go means have action steps. Action steps means what are we going to do first, what are we going to do second, what are we going to do third, and so on and so forth. What are the action plan that we're going to have? And for having a good action plan, Edward de Bono recommends we have a column of three tables. This three column table, very effective. What to do, who will do, by when to do. If we have these three columns, of all the global initiatives we need to take to handle this issue, we will be able to make sure that we are transiting to real action steps. What to do, who will do, by when to do. So that is in a nutshell what is too low, post, so go. One more time. Too low, post, so go. What is too? Have a clear objective for your brain, have a clear target for your brain. What is low? Look and gather all the data on the subject matter. What is po? Look at all possible solutions, not one, but multiple solutions. What is so? Fine tune and select the best solutions. What is go? Go to take an action plan, come up with a summary, what to do, who will do, by when to do. That in a nutshell summarizes too low, post, so go. What questions you have? What questions you have out of this method? Let's get into some of your questions, and then we look at uh, yeah. What questions do you have? So what questions come to your mind? What questions would you like to ask? So is everybody at 2 low posts or go? Okay, I can see here. Yeah. Excellent, excellent. Devanjan answering some questions now. Good. Right? If there are no questions, I would like to say big thanks to all of you. There's going to be a survey and a poll that is going to be generated as you log out from this webinar. Please feel free to test your underpinning knowledge of this session using that survey, and the poll will be your feedback about this webinar. Thank you so much for logging on this morning, and good luck. Everybody stay safe and be positive, and good wishes to all of you. And don't forget, use 2 low posts or go. And there's a handout attached. If you like, you can get a copy of that by just clicking on the handout, which is a PDF file which has other tools listed as well. So feel free to take a copy of the handout. That is for you. Good luck to all of you. Thank you so much.